That was part of the secret in the family, that there were two murders in our family that made us say that you could never tell that J. Edgar Hoover is related to us. He is passing. This is what we said. He is passing for white.
Millie McGee was from Macomb, Mississippi, and according to her family tree and oral family history, this is the lineage of J. Edgar Hoover. Grandmama was taken from West Africa and brought to a slave owner, Christian Hoover. Christian Hoover was a politician and a preacher. Christian impregnated Grandmama, and they had a baby girl named Elizabeth Allen. Okay, and this is where it kind of gets a little bit incestuous in the Hoover family, because Christian Hoover began sleeping with his daughter Elizabeth, and they had a baby girl named Emily Allen. Okay, now I do want you to keep in mind that Christian Hoover, he also had a white wife named Mary, and they had about 10 children. Okay, two of the children that would be mentioned will be William and Christian Kit Hoover. Now, Elizabeth, once Emily got of age, Elizabeth left with another family member named William Hoover, and she went on to DC, and she stayed there for all of her days, passing for white. But she had left Emily behind with the slave owner, Christian Hoover. Okay, now Emily continued having babies with two of the Hoover sons. Okay, William Hoover and Christian Kit Hoover. These are the two brothers that we will be discussing. She had about 8 children with William. Emily and William carried on a relationship even after his white wife Martha left, which he had children with as well. Emily was also willed to William by Christian Hoover Sr. Okay, it was also recorded that Emily was the wife of William, so she was definitely not just a bed warmer to William, which bed warmer is a term that was used back in those days, and you can kind of just take your pick from the definitions. Okay, but back to Emily and Christian Kit Hoover. They had 6 children, but their first child was named Ivy Hoover. He was born 11/24/1859, which was the same birthday as Christian Hoover Sr. Now, Ivy Hoover had a wife named Ari, and his mistress was Annie Hoover. Okay, now Annie Hoover was married to Dickerson Naylor Hoover. They had 2 children of their own, Dickerson Jr. and Lillian, but Annie had an affair with Ivy Hoover, and they had J. Edgar Hoover. Now, Dickerson Hoover Sr. always had a disgust for J. Edgar Hoover. This is what research shows. And it was also said that he was mistreated by, his dad, Dickerson Hoover. In a book J. Edgar Hoover wrote, he said, "My mother was my everything." And he also said, "If I had a son, I would never lie to him." Many believe that this comes from the fact that, he had to live his life a lie. You understand? So this is where they're thinking that some of these quotes are, coming from. And the fact that his mother was his everything is because they said Dickerson Hoover Sr. did not take a liking into J. Edgar Hoover. Now, J. Edgar Hoover had to keep this secret in order to keep his position and get the position in the FBI. They were not hiring Negroes in the FBI at this time. Not even really hiring Negroes, period. Everything was still segregated and separated. Now, Ivy Hoover was mysteriously murdered, and also court records were burned mysteriously that would have validated Ivy Hoover being J. Edgar Hoover's biological father. Ivy Hoover's death was a few weeks after J. Edgar Hoover's first Justice Department promotion. Ivy Hoover was the missing link to J. Edgar Hoover's Black family. Now, I want to point out a few mysteries surrounding, J. Edgar Hoover's birth records. Number one, there was no birth record on file until 1948. Also, his birth certificate was filed with a D suffix for delayed filing. Also, J. Edgar Hoover provided to the FBI a notarized letter from his brother that stated he was a witness. At 15, Dickerson Hoover Jr. was the 15-year-old who stated that he was a witness to J. Edgar Hoover's birth. Okay, this also seems suspicious because why didn't his mother come with a notarized letter? It would seem more, logical for his mom to have basically been the witness to his birth. Okay. Now I want to point out that it is not uncommon due to slave births or black births not being recorded. Okay. So Annie, J. Edgar Hoover's mom, did not record his birth for two reasons. One, he was black. His grandmother was a black slave. And number two, he was considered an outside child. He was conceived, from an affair. Okay. Now there are many reasons why J. Edgar Hoover wanted to pass for white, and we have to remember when you are passing for white, you have to cut yourself off from your family. And one reason is because, in those days, to be an outside child or illegitimate child was definitely shunned upon. Another reason, obviously, he did not want to be considered black. And, the one drop rule would have made him a black man no matter how white his skin was. And if you look at younger pictures of J. Edgar Hoover, he looks like a light-skinned black man. Now, this could also be the reason J. Edgar Hoover set out to destroy so many blacks and spied on so many people. Okay. Again, like I told you, he had files and files of sealed records and documents, on people that had not even committed crimes. He had a thing for spying on people, and, he was keeping the biggest secret. He was really a black gay man passing for white. Now, when I found this story, I did find it a little bit, intriguing to me, that one of the biggest, which made him a hypocrite, and one of the biggest, you could almost actually call him a racist, was actually a black man. And it just makes me think about how, now we still kind of do that, spend a lot of effort on destroying each other instead of uplifting each other. So I thought that I would share this with you guys today. Again, I promise to keep bringing you some of that hidden knowledge and underground education. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Okay, please drop a comment. Shalom.